If I could give my 21-year-old self advice, it would be stop caring what people say.
Luigi, thank you so much for being here today. For those that do not know you, could you please tell us a bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Luigi La Tona. I'm born in Canada, and now I live in Singapore. After being in Asia, I was in Hong Kong for about 12 years. So in Asia total for now, close to 17 and a half years. Never expected that. I'm the founder of ThunderWear, bold, beautiful, and comfy men's essentials that I started in my EMBA 3.5 years ago. We are in the business of making men feel like thunder down under.
Wow, I'm definitely looking forward to diving deeper into learning more about ThunderWear later on. Let's go back in time to actually learn a bit more about who you were as a person before who you became today. Could you please tell us what were you doing at age 18?
Age 18, that's rewinding quite a number of years back. Age 18, I was working for Home Depot, but the more exciting thing is I was a volunteer firefighter at that time as well. And so I was cutting my teeth on the experience of firefighting in my suburb called Surrey, outside of Vancouver. When you're a volunteer firefighter, you actually serve as a firefighter whenever the main crew is out of the station. We would have our little beeper. It was actually not a little beeper, it was quite a big beeper. And whenever the main crew was out, and if there was a call to the station, we would get called in and we would have to handle the next call. Because my work knew that, they would often let me go on calls. I was serving, you could say, a higher purpose there. And so it was a fantastic role that I got to learn a lot about myself and push myself through a lot of physical, mental, emotionally challenging things that I had never thought I could go through.
And how different was this compared to your first job after university?
Oh, gee, my first job after university, I mean, very different, right? So it was funny, my volunteer firefighting journey was turning into a real firefighting journey. They had a pool of 30 plus people in an exercise going toward becoming a real firefighter. So from these 30 plus people, they were going to hire three in the district of Burnaby. Anyway, and I got down to the last 3 or 5 people, and I was told that I didn't make it because I'm too young and I need more life experiences. And the average age of a firefighter was, I guess, 28. At that time, I was going through this exercise at 20. And so I made it all the way through all the physicals and mentals and tests and all sorts. But that's what kicked off my journey into discovering myself, getting more life experience as they recommended. And so I started traveling and eventually going back to school and into university. So to your question about how different was this than my university job, my university actually ended on an internship in Time Warner in Hong Kong. And that's what kicked off my journey in Asia. I was a policy analyst in Time Warner. It's a matter of difference between a firefighter in Canada and policy analyst at Time Warner in Hong Kong. Very different, my friend.
So when you got that rejection in terms of you not becoming a firefighter, how did that make you feel in the moment? Because obviously you spent your time when you were younger before you went to university training to become a firefighter. Was that always going to be your career at the time? Was that like you thought that was your only route in? Or did you feel like, was there a point when you discovered that there were more opportunities than you actually realized?
At that moment in time, and I think anybody can say this, you're taken over emotionally by what you had just heard. Firefighting for me was going to be the end all and be all. I had trained physically, mentally as a volunteer firefighter. I got a lot of practice, gained a lot of skill sets, going through the motions as a first responder, helping people out in medical emergencies at the fire scenes. So yeah, when you get that rejection, you crash down to earth. I didn't think I was going to, quite frankly, because I had passed every single thing that they wanted me to pass, but it was a matter of age and life experience. It left me very determined to go experience my life. So while at that split second, I felt like my world was crashing down on me, this was going to be it. It emboldened me to say, all right, you want life experiences? I'm going to go get some.
Did you ever feel later on in your life, while you were working corporate in Hong Kong, was there a period where you realized, I actually miss firefighting? You know what? I might consider it again. Or did you feel like after you got that rejection, you were already creating your own path and that was more relieving in a way for you?
Firefighters do such a valiant job for the community in what they do. They're putting their own bodies at risk, their minds, emotions. They're pushing the boundaries. I still want to be them. I would say, though, after getting a lot of these life experiences, I saw there was a lot of the world that I wanted to discover. And I know that the duty of a firefighter is when you're in that district that you're in, you're serving your community, you're serving your family that are other firefighters. That's generally going to be where you stay. And so, weighing off between after getting that rejection and then running the gamut of experiences around the world, quite frankly, and then being shipped off to Asia to get this new role and other things. I wanted to feed on more experiences, and I had this insatiable appetite to discover new cultures, different histories, taste multiple foods from around the world, get my butt kicked in different experiences that I had never dreamed of getting involved in. And so my appetite just got deeper and deeper for, again, those life constructions that I had then started putting together that led me up to Asia and so forth.
It's so nice to hear that you were then seeking more of those lived experiences. What made you want to pursue entrepreneurship and how did that feel like leaving your corporate job to then pursuing entrepreneurship full time?
For all my years, I had worked for the man. And when I opened up my own business association, not my own, but it was a self storage business association, but I put my voice onto it and my structures, and we built it out to become from nothing to a globally recognized industry body within just a few short years. And so you feel very empowered by that. And then you start to grow in your career and you grow companies across the region. You're developing something very special. And when I had the opportunity to present in my class, the professor shared, okay, well, class, now you have to start your own online project and sell a product within 3 weeks. Start a business. I took that opportunity. I went for it. I didn't want to try to save the world. I didn't want to try to desalinate all the water in the world. I needed to do something that was a bit more tangible, right?
Right.
And I saw a little gap in the market, and I went for it straight into that gap. So at the time of COVID-19, I was also doing my MBA, running my corporate, and on my side hustle having this ThunderWear. So that's aside from tending to the kids and the family and sleep and trying to get other things done. So it's empowering because you see all this growth that you have through the years. People think, and I heard about this. I heard some months ago that you plateau in your career in your mid 40s,
Mhm.
and I wholeheartedly reject that. And I don't, and I hope people aren't buying into that notion that you're plateaued, you have nothing more to gain, nothing more to, right? You just stay where you are. If you're a banker, stay a banker. If you're a baker, stay a baker. If you're a real estate agent, stay a real estate agent. You can't achieve anything outside of your industry. Don't even try. Stop. You'll fail. I'm happy I didn't listen to the naysayers because in your mid 40s, you have so much life experience, so many different opinions that you've gathered and learned and things that you've seen and tried and failed many times over that you're ready at that point to start a business and get slapped in the face, grow thicker skin, keep on pushing, thriving, growing, and it's the best time of your life. I hate to say this, you stop caring what other people say. If I could give my 21-year-old self advice, it would be stop caring what people say, because too much time is wasted. I wasted way too much time on this person said I'm this and not good at that, and oh, I can never achieve this. They're time wasters.
It's useless.
It's irrelevant. But of course, you don't know that when you're young. When you're young, you say, "Oh, this people, this person, they have this status, and they said this and that." And, okay, I will take a bit of that, right? Okay, yes, I could be better at this task, and I could get a bit faster here, and I got it right. And that's how you gain all that. But there's a lot of negativity out there, and so you have to take it with the good and bring it all in and keep pushing forward.
That was amazing. I mean, that was everything I needed to hear, I guess. Or I guess that was what we got a lot from that question just now. And I love how you just challenged what the majority or what is right typically, what is assumed, because that's usually not always the case. It's like people don't really know and they're judging based on their own experiences and what they think based on expectations, what the media says, rather than knowing, like, focus on your own life. Why are you focusing, or why are you obsessed with what I'm doing? I think that's the problem in today's society, is that we just spend too much time comparing ourselves to other people, and it just wastes so much time. And I think that's what really affects people from getting to that end result or the desired outcome, just because they spend more time really just worrying about what other people say.
I was in real estate, and I was looking for opportunities, and a headhunter said this, quote unquote. At the time, I was 34 years old. She
Okay.
said, "You have to just stay in real estate. You're too old to switch industries."
Wow.
And I'm 34 at that time.
That's not old.
I know. And I look back on that and I smile, because it's that mindset that drowns people in what they are doing. And oftentimes they're not happy what they're doing. You step into quicksand and you say, I guess this is my fate. I'm bound to stay in a job that I hate because I'm old. I totally disagree.
I think it's also people's insecurities that are just being projected in, and also just what we see, like the energy we consume as well, that really does play a role in our daily lives. And not talking about that, so it'd be great to please tell us, Luigi, a bit more about Thunderwear. How did you come up with this idea, and why Thunderwear? Why are you so passionate about it?
The story starts in Hong Kong when me and a friend, Nigel Pereira, were going out on a Saturday night. And he said, do you have your lucky underwear on? I said, well, what's that about? He explains the story. He says, man, you got to put on your pinks and your reds. You got to go. Like, you feel the flow from the inside. Okay, fine. So weeks later, I grabbed my first pair of lucky underwear, right? A pair of red boxer briefs. And it's my go-to underwear if it's a big day, right? So all of a sudden you feel this little empowerment. And Manav, maybe that sounds super ridiculous, but people put on clothing if they're feeling great, right? You go into a wedding, you're going out on a Saturday night, you're going on a date. Ladies have their accessories, their earrings, their necklace, their panties, whatever. Men have the same thing on a Saturday night. They put on a little flower shirt, right? A little batik in Singapore. It's fantastic. You look good. You feel good. You put on a little cologne, watch that's special. You don't wear it all week. You're putting on empowerment,
Yeah.
right? And people don't know that. People don't associate maybe clothing with empowerment, but that's what you're putting on. So all of a sudden you get this project that's kind of coming to your way that you have to start this project. Okay, fine. I have to start a project. Now, years previous, my wife and I were just giggling about, starting this underwear company, starting, something. And I'm thinking about a name, and I like words. I like things with emotion. And so I blurted out in a monster truck voice, ThunderWear, like monster trucks back in Canada, right? So this ThunderWear. And I'm like, wow, that really kind of has a little ring to it. And I've just sat on the idea for years. Project came along, I did the project, launched ThunderWear, launched the concept. Of course, I'm not going to get a bunch of inventory that people aren't going to buy, but it turns out people bought the concept, and there was something missing here. People wanted this, in their lives. So then I sold some, and then I sold more, and then I sold more and more and more and more. And all of a sudden, it's like now I'm up to an order size. It's not big, right? When you talk about MOQ, minimum order quantity, my MOQ is tiny, but that's because I don't want to draw myself in inventory. I'm not going to hang all this overhead above me and be liable to it. So effectively, I kept my MOQ small. Right now, I'm up to each batch I order is 5,000 pieces of different styles. But people kept on buying, and I could see how the market was shaping up and what they wanted. I tried different innovations, created, studied. I'm not from the industry whatsoever until I eventually wanted to take a chance on the business. I brought in an equity partner. She's a firecracker. She has energy, vision. She's committed to her family, but also the work. And we have the same way of thinking. And so it's like, okay, let's drive this. And then back at the beginning of October, I decided to leave my corporate, give this a full go. And it's gone quite okay. I'm very happy with my decision. And we're looking at 2025 and all the capabilities that we're building onto this small business that we're bootstrapping. A friend of mine, Ed, he had his own sportswear business in New York. And he shared when he had this business, he said, keep it small and take it all. In the sense of be careful when you're bringing on investors, right? Because they'll take a big chunk and then they'll start to also drive your business. You are the business. But then when investors can come in, they'll start to say what they want to say and have things their way.
Right.
And then also they want their small percentages here and then. Keep it small and take it all. So we're bootstrapping this thing and we're having such a fun time doing it.
I'm glad you are, and I'm glad to see that it's actually paying off right now, and the fact that you took the risk of actually leaving your corporate job, but then I can feel your drive and your passion for this project, and the fact that you're now turning it into full time and really just making it work now is absolutely incredible. So definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen.
The best entrepreneur is the one who has their back up against the wall.
Preach.
That's it. And you leave a cushy corporate comfortable job and you have a family to feed and it's do or die time, and you believe in the project that you're investing in, your time, money, and effort, you hit the gas pedal, man, whatever it takes.
Now that the fact that you're pursuing entrepreneurship, how does this affect your lifestyle as a parent?
I think it's wonderful in the sense that I have this opportunity to show my daughters, and I've taken the opportunity already to show my daughters that you lose a lot and you win a lot, and that there's these small little wins that you have to be content about, right? One of my daughters remarked, it was actually very funny. I was setting up for a pop up down on Orchard Street. And I set up and I'm standing there and I'm saying hi to people that are walking by. My daughter remarked to my wife, my wife later told me, why isn't anybody stopping to buy Papa's underwear? Right? And she had to share with them that sometimes, right, people are not going to stop and buy, right? And she said, but he's worked so hard. You
Wow.
show them that, yeah, you're going to work hard, and it's not always going to be right in front of you. You're not going to get rewarded right away. You got to work for it. You got to keep on driving. You got 10 hours to this pop up on your feet, standing. You're hustling. You're not getting it handed to you. And I like that even more because I'm getting nothing handed to me. This is brick by brick, right? I have this opportunity to teach my daughters that it's all about hard work. Do not ever expect anything. Life owes you nothing. So go out and get what you're worth.
I think that's a really big thing I've also learned is the fact that I learned not to have any expectations. But I think that's also a great thing is when you're teaching a child or someone who is younger than you, because they might think it's all easy. They're not really exposed to the world. They don't really know the other side. So by the lived experience, by seeing it happen, it kind of it changes the way of they think when what they see they usually believe is right or is like it's easy. But I think it's same to when I remember I encountered my first time failing. It was absolutely devastating over something really small. Back in high school, for example, I didn't get a role in a play, and I remember just being crushed by it. But later on, if it was to happen to me today, I'd just be like in a minute, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, it is what it is. On to the next one." So it's really interesting how when we think of when things don't go our way, our relationship with it gets much easier as you go through those hardships through life.
Well, look, Manav, look, you're starting your interviews with people that have different experiences and you're passionate about what you do and you stay up late to create your email came in at 2:30 yesterday morning for the questions and you're up early. I got you up early because I'm an early guy, but point is that you're passionate about what you're doing. And whether you get 10 likes, 20 views, 40 comments, and however you're growing your business, it's not going to be easy. People come up to me and say, "Oh, I have this idea. I just want to do this. And I got all these things going on. Where do I start?" My opinion is just start.
Yeah,
Just start and go through all of those hard steps like you're doing, Manav, in your business. Go through all those pillars of construction and building and getting better and seeing more of what your audience wants. People, they think that things come easy. I've never had it ever had it easy. I've never had anything handed to me. So you build hard, in your passion and your drive and your desire for hard work, and you don't quit. And good things come to good people.
to those who wait.
That's the way it is.
Yeah. Now, conscious that we're almost near the end of the podcast, so I have one last question for you, and that is, what are you up to nowadays?
I'm hustling the boldest, most beautiful, and comfiest underwear that men will have. I am everything in this business. If I could say my title is just founder, I would be lying to you because 1 second I'm eyeballs deep in my accounting, budgeting, and forecasting. The next second, I'm creating content where I've got a silly bandana on and, and I'm, having some fun. The next second, I'm at a pop up selling. After that, we are talking about our strategies for regional market expansion. So what am I doing? I'm just being a startup entrepreneur, just really hustling for everything in order to continue to empower men across Asia with honestly the comfiest underwear they'll ever try.
You're always on the go, and I love it. Absolutely love
That's
it.
it.
Love it. Thank you, Luigi, for being here today. For people who like to get in touch with you, what would be the best way to do that?
Gee, you can find me on LinkedIn. Luigi La Tona. I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me there. Otherwise, just check out ThunderWear Asia. And I'm always at the end of that message line.
Awesome. And for those that are watching right now, make sure to like and subscribe. A new episode will be out very soon. Thank you, Luigi, for joining us here, and speak to you soon.
Thank you, Manav.